Southern Wind 96 full carbon luxury super yacht, and this is thanks to you guys, for everybody that hits that like and subscribe button. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to do this. Okay, starting at the bow, you have a full integral bowsprit. You'll see that you actually have inbuilt furlers, and this is the main Genoa. They're all hydraulic electric furlers. There is a specific reason why they've got it set like this, so you can attach your code D here direct onto the furling system, or just over 1.20 meters further ahead, all the way to the tip of your bowsprit, or have your spinnaker set. The idea with these boats, if you watched Toby Hodges' review on Yachting World last year, around that time I had a good conversation with him this morning about it, is that these boats are adaptable for speed and comfortable cruising. They're pretty much fully custom inside here. So obviously forward you have the Genoa and you have your jib. You also have the possibility of moving, or stay sail as they say, moving it from here to here, so that you're not having to constantly furl in your Genoa to pass the sail. So once again, it's adaptable for comfortable cruising, or if you're racing for speed. Cleats are titanium. All the stanchions are titanium for strength, and also their main benefit is to actually reduce weight on the boat. The anchor windlass, we can't open it up, which is a shame, but the locker opens and the actual anchor windlass is on a hydraulic system. One, keeping the weight in the boat, gives a sleeker look, and when you need to use it, it folds out and comes over, and that gives you that adaptable bowsprit for the use and configuration of sails. Viewers aren't actually subscribers, and yet you're returning viewers to our channel, so you obviously like what we do. If you want us to get to bigger boats, to be able to do more sea trials, we could really do with you hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, takes a few seconds, but it makes a massive difference to us on this channel. And the more subscribers we get, the more views we get, the more opportunities we're going to be able to have to go out on sea trials, test different boats, and just bring you more and better content. So please consider subscribing, hit that like button. But I'll give you a full look of this magnificent yacht. I don't know if you can see how the hull has a beautiful curve, and she sweeps all the way back. This is twin rudder, twin engined. As I say, the mechanical specs will be coming up shortly. You have a large lazarette for all your bits and pieces, fenders, and access into a forward cabin. You'll see that in a little while. You'll see that all the winch controls all over have these little clips over, which I think is brilliant, so winches aren't accidentally you know, this is for your windlass. You'll see aft for your winches so they're not accidentally set. The hull is fully carbon, will come aft. One thing to note, there is a huge double lazarette on the main forward deck here. It's about 1/2 metre deep, so all your spare sails, spinnaker, all your code sails, spare genoa, everything is actually kept in this storage space, keeping it out of living space and crew quarters, which is absolutely brilliant. Full carbon mast. I'll have a look here in a sec. Hydraulic fang, and it actually goes into a full winged carbon boom. Technical specs coming up. 3-spreader carbon mast, and obviously you have all your hydraulic tensioners for all your halyards and sheets. And you have, before we get into the, I'll show you a nice little bit of kit, you have full carbon rigging as well. These are pretty much custom boats. This boat was, the owner had asked for a more sporty look for the cabin top. Central, there's actually a huge skylight. When we get further back into the cockpit, I will go into that. But for your jib and genoa tracks, obviously full carbon, self-tailing electric winches, but you have lateral and horizontal abilities to adjust and trim your sail. So if you're racing or you want to get it absolutely perfect, you have the ability to trim the sails as much or as little as you wish, giving you full control of this magnificent vessel. There's your repeaters forward on the mast. The hull's infused, so you have your infused carbon exterior skin. I can't tell you how wide the walkway down along the side is. There you can see your pop-up cleats, so you have a second section of cleats there, pop-up titanium cleats, and access both port and starboard onto, onto your tender. Specifically for this owner, Southern Yachts designed a hard cover. You can see it's got soft sun protection cover on it too. Normally, obviously, your hard top's a little bit higher depending on what you want on specs, and this would actually fold forward. This can be removed if the owner wishes, or the crew wishes if they're racing, but it was something specifically designed. And obviously normally there is a dodger. You'll see down here there's a point here and a point along here and here, so you can put carbon poles for a dodger. For the hull, as I was saying, you have infused resin as carbon exterior. Then I'm going to come all the way back to the helm positions. Easy step over. You have a nice seat aft. The whole transom lowers obviously hydraulically, and there is a huge Williams tender in the dinghy garage, and there is plenty of room. Both this lazarette and these two side lazarettes open up and also give you direct access to your steering. Plenty of room for toys, diving compressor. As I was saying, forward, as you can see, all your winch touch bottom, come a bit further forward, all your winch buttons are here, and you have foot controls. They're full carbon self-tailing electric winches. Like some yachts, the larger would have captive winches. On this particular design, they actually opened up the aft deck So the helms are actually on full beam, so maximizing the full beam of the yacht to give the guys, the crew and the skipper some space. We're going to things built in-house by Southern Wind in South Africa. You'll see that these pedestals have everything your skipper needs. So you have a full Garmin chart plotter, B&G autopilot and repeater. They also have your technical screen, so you can see where how your water tanks are doing, batteries, diesel, etc. And throttle controls and bow and stern thruster. All your on and off switches, obviously, as you can see, autopilot, so you can switch from one helm over to the other. Very busy today at the show, it's brilliant. And you have all the hydraulic controls, self-explanatory. You can see backstay, vang, code 0 further, jib, staysail, and main in and out. We'll go on to the mainsail track, but just sitting on the edge you have a brilliant view forward. There's also access to the hydraulics for the winch forward. And we'll come over to the starboard helm over here. Once again, everything's repeated. So you have a larger screen for your systems here, and you can switch obviously from port and starboard depending on where you're helming or maneuvering the boat from. And then down here you have all your light switches, motor, a load of technical stuff coming up because the hybrid style of this motor is very, very technical. There'll be a load of stuff coming across your screen in a minute when we look at the technical department. Okay, your main sheet track is built in beautifully into the deck. It's a captive system and they've brought it all the way aft onto the boom. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of. It gives you more downforce and control of your mainsail. This is fitted with a square top main, giving you better performance and speed. Just give you an idea of the size of these winches. They are absolutely huge. This is my hand. Beautiful, beautiful boat. There is separate access just forward here to the crew's quarters, keeping crew quarters and owners' quarters separate so they can come up and do what they need to do on deck without interfering with guests or owners. I'll give you a pano aft. And your guest or owner's cockpit. You have two sun loungers, port and starboard, and a large folding dining table. So this will fold all the way out. Something which I really like, which you don't see on yachts very often anymore, is the prism lights. The attention to detail and design on this boat is absolutely fantastic. I love modern design, and when you start to look at the angles that have been created, you know, as some would say, just to hold up the table, are absolutely beautiful. And you have plenty of protection under this hardtop spray hood. I might have mentioned it earlier, but some models, depending on what the owner wants, that if it's a soft top, it actually folds down and hides into the deck. This was specifically asked for by the owner as a hardtop mod, and you can see centrally, if you want more light, that all folds back too. If you remember back in the day, we haven't been around a Shipman yet. One of my favourite monohulls was the Shipman 80, and they had an electric control, as this yacht does, so that your companionway slides across and out of the way. Obviously, You'll note with this boat, you have handholds everywhere. It's not just a pleasure craft, it's a racing boat. It's a serious blue water boat. I'm going to come down to one of the most beautiful yacht spaces I've seen in a long time. Give you a pano of the port side of the saloon. Right, we'll start over here. Start with the companionway. Fully moulded, infused carbon steps and carbon handrails. You wouldn't expect anything different. The attention to details, I'll go into this a little bit. It's a new 100-footer that they're doing. But the carpentry, the attention to details is fantastic. And you have leather, soft leather, all the way around on the upholstery. As I said at the beginning, these are pretty much custom build yachts. So this has been done to the owner's specification. There is a lowering table here, so you can have it as a coffee table, or if you want to extend your seating area or have a big double lounger, there you can. The table folds out. And inlay, you see beautiful carbon effect inlay into the wood. And then over on the starboard side, the owner asked for an office space to be able to do his work. Once again, you know, even the stand for the table is made from carbon, and it has a beautiful carbon inlay. And these tabletops can turn. So he has a lovely office working space, which is absolutely beautiful. And there is a chaise longue, which the wife asked for, so she can be with her husband while he's working. I'm not going to intrude on too much. As you can see, large storage area, and these are milled aluminium locks, so everything's seamless. One of the things I like with the lighting down here and the way it's been done is it actually looks like the furniture is floating. You'll see when we get into the owner's quarters that they've actually gone to the full width on this boat. The upholstery is all beautifully patterned. Once again, something that's been designed, stylized by the owner, and has an African theme, as they love Africa. It's details. When you come around this size, it's just details of the way the wood has been inlaid into the interior mouldings. I'm going to come down 2 steps into a lovely lounging cinema or library area. They have all these little touch lights, switches everywhere, and forward you can see there's a reading light that can be pulled out. Who wouldn't want to be crew or a friend to be able to go on a yacht like this? Lovely flat screen TV. Once again, I'll point it out all over, there are handholds everywhere. This is an ocean going vessel. This whole bulkhead area here, this one actually has the lifting keel. You'll see the technical bits coming across the screen. Has a lifting keel, so this whole section here, which is hidden, doesn't impede into the center of the boats like smaller yachts, as you know, with Garcia and so on. So it's all nicely hidden out the way, all the technical services, and obviously you can get access to it, but it's hidden out the way. The owner's suite, which is through there, we'll have a look in the middle. The whole idea is to bring all the guest and owner's accommodation forward, so that there is actually no noise from the technical department, which is aft, and obviously the crew quarters back there, so everything's kept separate. which I think is fabulous at this level of yacht. This for the show is set up as a twin, but the unit centrally here moves out the way, and this bed actually slides over to make a large double. All the walls are covered in beautiful soft material panels, and obviously you have insulated panels. One of the hard things with boats like this is to add as much comfort as possible, but also to keep the boat as light as possible for when you're racing. You know, if your standard cruising speed is sort of 12 to 14 knots, where most sailboats are sitting at 6 or 7.5 yachts, you understand that even though they want to keep the weight down, they also have to keep a massive, a very high level of comfort and ergonomics to the boat too. So you have, this is your guest suite, darkened mirrored cupboards there, and your own separate shower with a rainhead shower, privacy blinds and insect nettings, and obviously it's an electric flush toilet. This yacht is fully air conditioned and heated, so you wouldn't expect anything different. Then we'll come forward into the owner's quarters, where you have a dressing area, wardrobe. I won't open all the drawers. Privacy, all obviously all self-closing. And the cupboards to keep the weight down, so it's a solid infused veneer with honeycomb paper in the middle, so they're super strong but very, very light and functional. Once again, keeping the weight of the boat down, but keeping the aesthetics and the carpentry up. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And we'll come through into this full beam forward owner's cabin. Large queen size bed. Once again, carbon handholds, beautiful choice of materials and art. And it's forward here that you'll be able to see. I'll come down here where you can see this is the outer hull, so you've got that full depth, and this will be the inner hull carbon skin, so it's molded in and out smooth, and it gives you the idea once again that all your furniture is floating, and then they exploit as much of that extra space as possible. Nice leather hinges, and this is all covered in material too, so it's all nice and soft. Absolutely spectacular boat. Don't forget, like and subscribe, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to come round boats like this. And here we go for the owner's ensuite. Plenty of space, electric flush toilet. It's silly little bits that I like, but you know, there's your flush switches. You probably think I'm daft, but there's plenty of storage space, and a huge, once again, giant rainhead shower and thermostatic controlled shower head to come out here. Just give you a pan out. Absolutely beautiful. If they wish, they can have access out through here, so nobody's disturbed through the saloon. This ladder, actually, you can see the slide out runners, pulls out, and then through this sealed hatch here, or use it as an escape hatch if you wish. And then we'll go into the crew quarters, and in a minute we'll have a chat with the skipper, and he can fill you in on all the stuff that I've missed out. Before we get into the crew quarters, just after the companionway, there is another guest berth. Once again, this is set up as large twins, but the bed can be moved into a double. Beautifully set out. And obviously you have your own ensuite electric flush. Quite like the styling of the toilets. Heated towel rails, and obviously your own separate shower. To give you an idea of head height in these cabins, I'm 5'8", and I can only just touch the ceiling. So you've probably got 2.5 meters. Give me a minute and we'll do the crew quarters. A fully fitted commercial kitchen. This kitchen was probably as good as our kitchen in our restaurant that we had before we closed down at well, Corona, good old coronavirus. As you can see, look at that dishwasher, another one, microwave, plenty of storage. I'll open one of these cupboards, I won't open them all, but you have plenty of storage, overhead storage all the way round along up here, and we'll do one of the drawers for you guys. This has got to be probably some of the nicest crew quarters I've ever seen, which is really nice too. There are sea locks here, so cupboards can be locked off, so stuff's not getting thrown all over the place. Before I do the cooker, huge stainless steel sink. I assume both are fresh water. Something I really like, which I think I'm going to put into my kitchen at home, is you have a really handy drainage area for all your chopping boards and work boards. It's really good, and fabulous carbon worktops with great fiddles. Up along this wall there is a bank of fridges and freezers, commercial. As you can see, plenty of room, very deep. As I say, this is fitted better than our commercial kitchen that we had in the coffee shop restaurant. Coffee machine, essential, not as good as our machine, but you couldn't fit a 3-group Lamazoko on a boat like this. And a large induction gimbaled stove with the power bank that's on this boat powering this oven and hob. There's no problem whatsoever. Cleaning extraction hood, and at least for the chef there's a really nice port light to look out. There's even the level of details in these quarters is absolutely magnificent. Pocket doors, space saving, weight saving, absolutely brilliant. And then the crew's eating area. This is fabulous. This is better. Don't tell Antoine I said that, but the interior of the crew's quarters is better than the ML50. But don't tell Antoine I said that. Nice separate bathroom, electric flush, freshwater toilet. No salt water smells for the crew, which is lovely. And they have a separate shower, so there's no wet heads either, which is absolutely fantastic. Guys have access out of here. This is that hatch we saw up in the cockpit earlier, so they can stay completely separate from owners and guests. And here is one of the bunk rooms, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Either have Pullman berth if you're on your own, or double bunk. And I'll show you the depth of these mattresses. I'm going to move in. Plenty of room for all their gear. And another separate toilet. Once again, electric freshwater flush. And this, the pièce de résistance, is the skipper's workstation. So he has a full, I reckon that's a 15-inch, maybe a 17-inch Garmin chart plotter. They also have it set up computerized so they can go through all, I won't show you too much what's going on there, so they can go through all their details, obviously keyboard. You've got all your wind instruments, repeaters, autopilot. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. They don't have to move from here and they can monitor the entire boat from here. All the systems, all the batteries, AIS, absolutely everything. Don't go away, I'm going to do a quick interview with the skipper. With Nick, the skipper of this magnificent boat, and I think hopefully he can answer some of your questions, some of the technical questions about the hybrid drive and what it's like as life as a skipper on such a magnificent boat. What's it like being a skipper for a 96-foot custom carbon yacht?
It certainly keeps you on your toes. No 2 days are the same. Whether it's kind of going from delivery mode into yard mode, into some potential racing, into long deliveries, short deliveries. Yeah, that's kind of something which is quite fun. Is that it's always changing. It takes a lot of time and energy, but ultimately it's fantastic, especially with a project like this, with such new technology on board. It's great to kind of keep learning and keep developing kind of as crew, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I understand that there's a hybrid propulsion system on this boat that's able to self-charge as you're cruising along, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So rather than a traditional diesel engine, we have an electric traction motor and a variable pitch propeller, and that's powered by 2 diesel generators. And alongside that, we have the ability to regenerate when we're sailing along. So when we're sailing, the blades of the propeller can pitch themselves, turn the prop shafts, and then we can regenerate and charge the batteries through that. So that's a pretty cool piece of tech, which we are kind of enjoying exploring, let's say.
Yeah, so it helps bring down the cost of diesel, makes the boat a little bit more environmentally friendly.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. No, it's really kind of satisfying to be sailing along and charging the batteries. Yeah, it's really cool.
And managing a yacht of this size, I take it you have a substantial crew, or?
Yeah. So always, well, the boat's designed for 4 crew, but that can range from that 4 to 7 or 8 on delivery, to 20 if you want to race the boat and push it hard, depending on what the kind of owners are keen on doing, really.
Yeah, this is thanks to you guys, for everybody that hits that like and subscribe button. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able to do this.